The Minnesota Vikings remain undefeated against the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field in the 2020s. The Minnesota Vikings are 4-0. 2020, they beat them. 2021, they beat them. 2022, they beat them. 2023, they beat them. 2024, they beat them. It means it's 5-0. How's that work? How's that make sense? Can you tell me that, Jacob? If 2020 to 2024 is 4 years, yet we're undefeated 5 times against the Bears at Soldier Field. How does that make any sense?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd heard on the radio, we won our 5 in a row at Soldier Field. I didn't hear the date part. I don't know.
I know since 2020, I looked it up. We might have won in 2019 too, but 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024, we've beaten the Bears.
Okay.
So that means they're 5-0. But yet 2020 to 2024 is only 4 years.
I don't know.
Makes it interesting. I think it's 5 years because you count 2020. You know, when you count by 5, it goes, when you add 2020 by 5.
4.
Right, exactly. Yeah. We're solving the world's biggest problems over here. Yeah. Anyway, Vikings win 30-24, remain undefeated in the 2020s. Their record moves to 9-2.
Mm-hmm.
At one point in the game, it was shared by Declan Goff of Score North. He shared a screenshot of ESPN that said the Vikings had a 99.9% chance to win.
Wasn't
with
wrong.
A minute and 25 seconds. It's true. He was right. ESPN knew. They knew it. Your takeaway from the Minnesota Vikings' dramatic victory at Soldier Field?
Again, bad teams lose these type of games. Good, great teams can play not their best game and still find a way to win.
Are you calling the Vikings a great team?
I said good to great.
Good. I know. I heard you loud and clear.
They're making me more nervous that we are not a great team, that we're more of a good team as week by week goes by. But
yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Even the Bears, I know they're 4-7 now, lost 5 in a row. Is that right? Since that Hail Mary game. I mean, they've given away a couple games that they easily could be.
A lot of games. The Packers kick.
5 or more, the Hail Mary and one kick, and all of a sudden they're at 6-5. So it's
right.
This was Caleb Williams' best game of his career so far. Was honestly kind of fun to watch. Makes you a little nervous about the next 10 years, maybe if they can get it put together around Caleb Williams. He looks pretty good today. But no, I mean, I don't know. Darnold was good. Came up clutch when we needed him. Right, overtime he was throwing dimes all over the place.
I found a stat posted by someone. Sam Darnold threw for 90 yards on the last drive of the game. His 330 yards were the second most by Vikings quarterbacks at Soldier Field, only behind Jeff George.
That's a throwback.
So Jeff George and Sam Darnold have the 2 most passing yards in Minnesota Vikings franchise history at Soldier Field. It's crazy.
Don't the Bears have like a weird stat where like they've never had like a 3,000-yard passer or something crazy?
It's something wild, yeah.
Like something really low where it's like shocking that like no one's ever got there.
Yeah, Caleb Williams will definitely be that guy. Yeah. Darnold for the day, 22 for 34, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, a 116.1 passer rating. Caleb Williams, 32 for 47, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, a 103.1 passer rating. Everyone's going to talk about the meltdown that the Vikings had on the onside kick. Johnny Munt, it goes off his foot, doesn't even know it goes off his foot, continues blocking the Chicago Bears onside unit.
Yep.
Bears pick it up. It was clear and obvious that it went off his foot. Very easy decision. And I'm like, the role of the returner or onside kicker is to block those guys so that the guy behind can get the ball.
Right.
So I don't know if he necessarily did anything wrong, but at the same time, you don't want to have to touch the ball before the ball goes 10 yards.
He was overeager probably, right? He did his job aggressively well,
Yeah.
which was try to create a wall so that the guys behind him can recover it. But that logic goes out the window a little bit when the kick. Because where did that was a 6-yard kick maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a 7-yard kick, and it's hard to
Right.
who knows where if it would have been right at 10 or who knows, right? Who knows where it bounces out to. But when Munt touched it, he charged forward.
He did.
He went full speed forward to go crush some guys. So probably just a little over trying to do his job too well, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kevin Seifert asked him after the game from ESPN, said, Johnny Munt said if he had to do it over again, he would go for the ball on the onside kick. But his assignment was to block and clear out for the second line to recover.
Right.
Standard onside kick fundamentals, just a freak play. So he didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but at the same time, you also have to be aware of where the ball is so that your foot doesn't run into the ball.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like, you call a play to get a wide open 3 in basketball, but, you're not. Then all of a sudden they don't guard you and you have a wide open layup. You're not going to just, pass up the layup for a 3, like shoot the layup.
Mm-hmm.
Like just because your job is to, go block, you still have to pay attention to what's going on. Now, obviously it's really hard. It's difficult to do that because you're going 100 miles an hour. You're trying, professional athletes and so on and so forth. But that's why they also are professional athletes. You got to make those snap decisions and make them correctly. And he did not.
Yeah. One of my takeaways from this game is that you think about meltdowns, and historically your team loses meltdowns.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's a meltdown. And the Minnesota Vikings were still able to come away with a win during a game in which they had a meltdown. Because it wasn't at the end of the game, but the Bears had meltdowns too. The Vikings and Bears, they just had equal meltdowns. The punt muff by the Bears punt returner was a muff. Special teams play. Johnny Munt had the exact same play.
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings converted that into a touchdown. The Chicago Bears made it into a field goal. Mm-hmm. They practically canceled each other out. But one happened at the end of the game, and it looks a little worse because you're up 27-16, and somehow it turns out to become an overtime game, and then all of a sudden the Bears win the coin toss, and it's like, crap, we're going to lose this game.
Yeah, momentum's a real thing. I mean, we fumbled going into the end zone, just kind of a great play by Mr. Simone Biles, right?
Yep.
That's true, though.
I got you.
Yeah. The one thing, I do have a question.
Do you actually know his name?
Yeah, Jonathan Owens. Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. I didn't know if he knew. I didn't know if he knew him as Simone Biles or
both, right? I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
No, I did laugh. The punt returner, I forget his name. Right? Bird? No, what's his name?
What's his name? I don't know. He had like a long name, didn't he?
DeAndre Carter.
Oh yeah, DeAndre Carter.
He for the punt, he was doing the poison sign, right?
Yeah. What the heck was he doing? What a stupid
get away, which was correct because it was going to bounce short. But then he was standing like 2 yards behind where it bounced. But it's part of it. They're just always so eager to try to, returners have their, how many plays a game, right? They get a couple kick return potential opportunities, couple punts a game. Like those guys are usually so wired up trying to make a big play for their team. They always lurk around the punt in case, I can scoop it and all of a sudden run it back for a touchdown and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it just I just found it hilarious. Poison, poison, poison. And then he's the one who gets hit by it.
Right. And he reacted like after it hit him.
Yeah, delayed reaction too. Yeah,
it hit him, and then he tried to move out of the way.
Yeah.
Another takeaway that I had from this football game, and you let me know if this is a sane or insane thought.
Okay.
And it depends on the matchup. So when it comes to the coin toss, the Bears won it, and my first reaction was, okay, they got all the momentum. But it was just a field goal. It was one pass from Caleb Williams to Keenan Allen, a 2-point conversion, whatever. They had the momentum going. Onside kick, field. They pick up the ball. Maybe Bears fans are thinking, we're going to march right down the field. My thought was, this is not a bad thing for the Vikings. They did just go and score. They did just have a long completion to Keenan Allen. And throughout the game, they weren't really having that amount of luck, good luck, whatever you want to call it, execution. So when they won the coin toss and said receive, because if they score a touchdown, game's over, my thought was, this actually might be a good thing for the Vikings. So you stop them, you get them to punt, come down, kick a field goal, game's over. I think it takes the pressure off of the Vikings offense to go down there, execute, and score a touchdown. And, of course, it depends on the matchup. Like, if we're playing the Packers, if we're playing the Lions, of course I'd want the ball first. But you're playing the Bears, whose offense isn't very good. And even though they have the momentum on their side, they scored on 2 possessions in a row, which means they're probably not going to score on the third one. I actually thought it was good that the Vikings didn't win that coin toss.
I feel like I get your logic. It's a bold take because obviously if they just go boop, 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 touchdown, then we're sitting.
But I think what's different is that I said it when it happened.
Okay.
And there's no camera cord on me, saying, I don't think this is. But I actually think it was a good thing.
Yeah, I would say maybe.
Depending on the team, though. It all depends on the team.
Right. If it's Patrick Mahomes, you don't want, hey, you get the ball first. Sounds great.
Right.
Your point being, it wasn't a bad thing that Caleb Williams got the ball and had to drive 80 yards. That also helps the Vikings for field position, although it didn't end up. But in theory, it can help you in field position if they have to punt and be a shorter field kind of thing.
Right.
But no, I get your point. Again, that's not something I would go for, but it's a
you don't buy it. You don't buy it. You're calling it an insane thought.
No, it depends what you're arguing. If you're arguing like we should defer to let the Bears have it, that would be a bad argument. If you're just saying I didn't feel bad about the Bears getting the ball, like I agree with that, if that makes sense. Like it's totally. Right. Again, the way they ended up throwing.
Just call me insane. Just call me an idiot. I'm okay with it.
No,
you can come with it. Come with it. Tell me telling me I'm irrational.
No, I'm just saying the attitude of saying I wasn't worried about the Bears driving down and scoring a touchdown. I agree with that sentiment, and that's basically what you're kind of saying is like it's not a bad thing that Caleb Williams starts with it because the odds that he drives 80 yards to score a touchdown aren't super high, and that's a valid take. So
okay, but there's still some hesitancy.
Well, because you would rather have the ball.
I'd rather kick a field goal to win.
Yeah, but what if you don't stop them?
But that's what I thought they would do. Like I had no question in my mind that the Vikings would stop Caleb Williams.
I understand, but yeah.
And you know what? Maybe I'll go down fishing. I would have came on this podcast and said, you know what? I would have been wrong.
It's just I think the point is you always take the ball because you have to, but going against the Bears, you're not too worried about them getting the ball first, and that does make it easier. They can settle for a field goal if you have to.
Yeah. If you gave me the ball, if the Vikings won the coin toss, I'm sure I would struggle to say, you know what, we're going to play defense first.
Hey, didn't Zimmer do that once?
I think they did when the weather was wild and crazy.
I feel like we did once where we gave up the chance for the ball in overtime one time.
And I think we won that game.
I think we did. So
I think it happened
before.
You
and Mike Zimmer are two visionaries.
Man, I tell you. Yeah. I think Kevin O'Connell would have done the same thing.
He's definitely a, unconventional thinker.
But he's an offensive mind, so of course he wouldn't.
Yeah, he'd take the ball.
Yeah. So some people are calling this the Jordan Addison game.
Yeah.
8 receptions, 162 yards, 1 touchdown, a 69-yard catch in which he got pushed out of bounds near the touchdown area, which the Vikings converted into a field goal after taking a couple of sacks. TJ Hawkinson, 7 catches for 114 yards. He had some big catches at the end of the game. The couple second and longs, third and long. Sam Darnold squeezed the ball. Yeah. Justin Jefferson, 2 receptions, 27 yards, 13.5. But even though he only had 2 catches on the day, his influence was felt throughout the day by the penalties that he drew, the deep ball. Pass interference got down there. Happened a couple times.
Yeah.
Where he got a pass interference penalty. And
one was really long, yeah.
What I love about this game is that Addison has been open for a lot of times this year. We've seen him. ESPN has shared crazy stats like he had a 91% open rate against the Rams. Didn't get the ball. Minnesota Vikings need to target Addison more. He's a wide receiver 1 and a wide receiver 2 role right now. And finally, they threw him the ball. And you know what's crazy is that the whole Aaron Jones fumble situation at the one could have been avoided because Sam Darnold, the play prior, threw it to Johnny Munt, who is no way in heck option one. Jefferson and Addison have to be option one on that play. Johnny Munt's not option one. And Addison was like 10 yards wide open on that play, and Darnold didn't see him. So, anyway, the Jordan Addison game, I love it. That's my take.
Yeah, he was good. And he was one that was a little bit more, not quite complaining, but he kind of was,
Yeah, the free three thing. And
yeah,
it's my college. It's my college thing. It's my college hashtag. His dad even tweeted free three during the game.
Yeah. I was just trying to look up. I was curious. I can't find it yet. I don't know if they posted it. What Hawkinson's snap count was, because it felt like this was the first time so far this year.
Yeah, it was big,
all the way back.
Josh Oliver missed this game,
and that was part of it, obviously too. Right? Yeah.
Right.
I just can't. I'm on Pro Football Reference looking for it, but I don't know if it's I don't know if it's out there yet. But anyway, it was nice to see him back fully into the TJ Hawkinson role as the first down guy. I mean, that's what we've been kind of missing. Oliver's been fine as what he is, but he's not
the threat that Hawkinson is.
Right, he's not the threat Hawkinson is across the middle to make contested catches. Yeah, I mean they had two guys on Jefferson essentially the whole time, and it was extremely nice to see Addison, get some love. We're able to hit Addison. And again, Hawkinson, when we need him on first downs, as I assume Jefferson, he's been a team first kind of guy. So I'm guessing everything out of his mouth is about how Addison's his boy.
Especially if the Vikings win.
Right, if the Vikings win, right? Then he's
right. Big caveat there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if
they don't win, it's like, wow, why did I get the ball more? And what's so impressive about this? Vikings score 30 points in this game. And going into this game, the Chicago Bears defense has proven to be a legitimate defense. My opinion going into this game was, if the Vikings score 20 points in this game's over. And it was looking pretty good up until the final minute of the football game. And I'm like, I'm going to be right on this one. And then the Bears score their touchdown. They get the 2-point conversion onside kick. You know how the story goes. But, last week against the Packers, the Packers scored 20. The week before, New England scored 19. Arizona Cardinals, they scored 29 there, blew up, scored quite a bit of points there. But Commanders, 18 points. And, games prior, they gave up 16, gave up 10, gave up 18, gave up 21, gave up 19.
Yeah, their defense is good.
Defense is good. And the Vikings, 30-27, putting that many points on the board, plus a Aaron Jones fumble at the 1-yard line, they were dialed in on all cylinders.
Yeah. No, again, the biggest takeaway is, bad teams lose games like this, right? How many times have we been there where the Vikings melt down and truly give it all the way away? Not today, right? They gave it away, but then they took it back.
Let me know if you agree or disagree with this theory. I'm all about the theories today.
Okay.
Last week, the Vikings had the Titans matchup. And
they
the week before,
the Texans today too.
Right.
I know the Vikings struggled last week, but all of a sudden the Titans put up 30 points, I think it was today, and they beat the Texans, who are the division leader and whatnot. So, which
includes a Will Levis pick 6.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, Vikings are still, the Jags kind of suck, but Titans are. I know they're a 3-win team only now, but
they're a competitive 3-win team.
They're competitive.
Right. I mean, seriously, they've been in games. They're at a 17-0 lead on the Bears until Will Levis.
The Bears won, yeah.
They gave away the Jets. They gave away a ton of games this year.
Yeah.
But here's the theory. Jacksonville Jaguars, Darnold goes 0 for 3. 0 touchdowns, 3 picks near the red zone. The next game was perfect for the Vikings. I called it a tune-up game. The Titans, their defense isn't very good. They only put up 23, but it's the Titans. You're not going against the Packers, the Lions, the Bears. The schedule worked perfectly for the Vikings so that Sam Darnold could find his rhythm, find his consistency against the Titans as he prepares for the final tougher stretch of the schedule, which includes the Bears twice with a good defense, the Cardinals, the Falcons, the Packers, the Lions. So I thought that was the tune-up game. And I think that's what we're seeing. Bears, 22 for 34, 330 yards. This is Sam Darnold stats. 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. It was one of his best football games of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was. He was phenomenal. Again, he answered the bell, right? When we needed him most, it was what that you said that last drive was because we started on the 19 maybe or something like that, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah.
Game-winning field goal drive that he got us down. I mean, it was third. I mean, it was second. He took the sack on the first play, so it was 2nd and 19 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He converted that first down. He converted another 3rd down.
Okay. I have to admit something. You're right about something. I will admit when I was pinning that turned out right where I was like, I don't think it was a bad thing that the Bears got the ball first. Kick a field goal, win the game. And it's what happened. And I look good now. I was wrong on this. That last punt that the Bears had. You know that back angle? The punt angle where, they show the punter punted the ball from his back or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes it looks like the ball comes out awkward.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball came off his foot, he shaked it. I said, he shaked it. Because it looked like it was dart out way to the right.
Sure. That was a boom, too.
And then they scale out, and it's like a 60, 70-yard bomb right down the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So I'll admit it. I'll say I was wrong in that one.
You were.
It's true.
But no, I mean, and then the other thing I was looking at, too, 4 of the last 6 are home.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, right? You won 3. I know it's 3 softer opponents, but you won 3 straight road games, which is not easy to do in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The big question, though, is who's the bigger threat to take down the Lions? Is it the Eagles? What else did that segment have? The 49ers or the Packers? That's the question.
Well, it's not the 49ers right now.
No.
They're getting clobbered with Brandon Allen at quarter. I thought they had Josh Dobbs as one of their quarterbacks.
They do. They chose Brandon Allen.
Yeah, what the heck's wrong with them?
Didn't want the Dobbs magic.
And Brandon Allen's stat, they're down 17-0, but he's 8 for 10, 81 yards, 100 passer rating. I don't know what's going on with them. Oh, he has a fumble. Yeah, but he recovered it. I don't know. Who knows what's going on? Anyways.
But, yeah.
Vikings are 9-2. That's what I know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, so and the thing you're starting to look at, too, is, you hope that you can still pass the Lions. I mean, it's as long as you stay within a game, you're at least going to have a potential for that to happen. Let's look at who the Lions got. Because then now you're starting to look at which division opponent, because we're going to have to face the worst division opponent. So you're looking at what? Falcons or Bucks or whoever comes out of that NFC South probably would be the worst. I mean, but even the NFC West.
You're talking about playoff matchup?
Yeah, because we're going to be unless we can pass the Lions, we're going to be that 5 seed playing,
or the 6.
Well,
because the Packers could pass us.
Well, correct. Yeah, the Packers could still pass us. Yeah, so obviously home versus Green Bay is going to be a big,
game.
But if you look at the Lions schedule, though, they got the Bears and Packers still, which, again, that's not easy. They have the Bills.
Huh?
They have at Chicago and at San Fran, which I know San Fran's kind of struggling at the moment.
Right.
But,
those aren't easy wins.
No, I mean, if all they got to do is drop one more, and then we're in business for that week 18, at Detroit game. So, because that's kind of the key is if you can jump ahead. I mean, not that playing Atlanta or the Rams or whoever ends up that worst division champion, but you'd rather play a home game or rather be the 1 seed if you can make it happen.
That's a hot take. I don't know if that's true.
Actually, here, I'll use your logic. Give
it to me.
I'd rather have the tune-up game, so I'd rather be the 5 seed on the road in the first round.
When's the last time? I mean, the Chiefs have been a 1 seed probably, and they've won Super Bowls. But think about the Giants.
Yeah, because
they're 2 Super Bowls.
That when you have to play the Lions at Detroit instead of home, you don't want to be home for
the rust factor. The rust factor
of having that bye week. You don't want that.
Some people buy into the rust factor.
And then you defer.
Because what some teams do, they lose week, they rest their starters week 18, then they have that bye week, so it's like 3-week break, and then they come back and try to win a game.
No.
Huh?
No, I think you'd be like so. My 8th grade football team the one year, we deferred
In overtime?
or they deferred, and then our guy said we want to play defense. So then we didn't get the ball to start the game or at halftime. That's how you would play if you were the coach.
Hey, overtime rules are different.
Hey, we're gonna defer and give them the ball. That's
Hey, overtime rules are different. Now, that's during the course of a game. It's a little different. Overtime rules, it's sudden death once you punt the ball the first time. Field goal's all they needed to win.
Yeah. Not wrong, but you are.
So, hey, the Minnesota Vikings executed my idea perfectly.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
3-and-out Bears. Vikings march right down the field, kick a field goal, win the game.
How nervous were you?
When the Vikings were at their own 19-yard line and they took a sack on the first play.
They did, yeah. It was second,
So it was like 2nd and 17.
Yeah.
So when that play started, my first thought went to, 8-2-1 sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I know, because then I'm like, you just play for the tie, basically, at that point.
Yeah. But then he got Hawkinson in a contested catch, and then Addison came through on a 3rd down.
Yeah.
Which I was also wrong. I said, this is a Justin Jefferson moment. This is a 3rd and 10 Justin Jefferson moment. Find him. Finds Addison instead.
Which he got.
So
the next 3rd down, I think, was Jefferson.
It's true.
Converting, or maybe the second.
It's true. Yeah, I was a little early on it.
Yeah.
I was anticipating it. Got a little early.
Yep.
But those are our takeaways, Jake and Tim. Jake's takes, as always, for delivering some common sense to the program.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you.